Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us to the Trade Exchange basic SEC quick overview regarding the TradeX Plus service and how to utilize that info during your trading day. I know a lot of people don't like webinars. Clearly, we sit in front of computer screens all day, and the last thing we want to do is continue to sit in front of computer screens, especially after a day like today. So we'll make this short and sweet. On the call as well, I do have Shayna from one of the partners over at TradeWire. She'll be going over the TradeX Plus aspect of the service. Shayna, if you want, I know we're screen sharing the news desk right now. If you want to switch over to the TradeX Plus, you just click that TradeX Plus button and you'll get a pop out to the TradeWire aspect of the service. Just so everyone has an idea of what we utilize, you are members of the Trade Exchange. And in the news desk, you do notice that we do provide a lot of, not a lot of SEC filings, but some of them that we pick and choose since that is our job to provide you with market moving information. We do pick and choose some of the SEC filings. Case in point, even after hours, you see the information we provide in regards to Form 4 insider purchases, the offerings, the S3s, S1s, S-3 ASRs. We provide SC13Gs, SC13Ds, and sometimes we will provide some Form 8Ks or 6Ks. I have Shayna, who is part of TradeWire, just to go over some explanation on utilizing that information and providing some feedback in regards to what each of those filings provide to members or anybody looking at that info. Shayna, are you on right now?
I am. Thanks, Milton. And thank you, everybody. So I wanted to jump on with y'all this evening. I know from Milton, there were a couple questions on the SEC filings, what the different types are, what do they mean, how do they affect trading? So like Milton said, I don't want this to be too long, but I want to jump into it with you and just kind of go through what are the most important SEC filings when you're using this tool. What should you be looking for? What could impact a stock? And what do they essentially all mean? What are all these colors going on over here? You see that we have these different colors that come up with the filings. Why are they color coded? What does it mean? So just want to jump right into it. Now you see here by clicking on any of these colored boxes on the left side, you can pull up the filter menu. So what filings do I find the most important? I'm going to highlight them for you so you can see these here. These I find to be the most important. We'll go through them one by one. I'll touch base on what these are. But again, we're going to go through these and touch base on everything, what they do, and yeah, how you can read them, what to look for. So starting off, 4Ps, these are your purchases. So these are insider purchases. You can see here we have a scraping tool, and our scraping tool really simplifies this for you. I can show you, if you're interested, how to read the filing, how to open it up and read it yourself. If you'd like to see that, I don't want to waste too much time on here. Let us know as we're going through the forms in the chat. Just let us know, hey, there's a form I'd like to know how to read, and we'll come back to it at the end and go through that. But what's great about our scraping tool is you can see here, our scraping tool pulls the information for you. So you can see here, this is a insider purchase from Six Flags. The director, Arik Rashim, purchased, and it shows how many they purchased. It shows at what price they purchased and the total amount. Now, what do we look for? We look for typically purchases that are more than 100,000. So when the total amount, I should say, is more than 100,000 is what we look for. If they're more than 1 million, even better. So obviously the Six Flags one being over 8 million, that's definitely one that would pique our interest and that we would look at. But again, anything over 100,000 we pay attention to. The higher the number, obviously, the more we're going to pay attention to that. Jumping next into the 4 S's. So these are your insider sales. These can be really helpful, but sometimes you have to be a bit careful because these can be, sometimes sales are prearranged. It's already an agreement that they're going to sell. It's a scheduled sale. So it doesn't always mean, in the purchases, that's kind of a show of confidence in the company, right? An insider is purchasing within their own company. That's a show of confidence. It's not necessarily true that if they're selling that they're losing confidence, because it can be scheduled. But a great example of when a 4S is handy is a very recent example is Tesla. Elon Musk, he announced in the media on Twitter, should I start selling Tesla? And, I'm going to take a vote. And those that found out he was selling Tesla, who didn't have access to this information, they found out through the news, through the media, when he actually started selling Tesla. And by then the stock had already dropped significantly. With this, somebody having access to this tool, they could immediately already been looking at 4Ss, looking to see when did Elon Musk start selling. You can ignore the time here. I'm actually right now in Germany, which is why my time's 6 hours ahead, but these all come at real time, the exact minutes that he filed that he was selling Tesla, and you can see them all coming through here. So that's when a 4S can be, when it's something out of the ordinary, 4Ss can be a big, big money-making opportunity. Next are the 6Ks and 8Ks. We have them in blue. And you notice here, let me just touch base. You see there's different ones, but they're all in the same thing. That's because they're same type. They're all doing the same type of thing. So both, but they might be, one might be if it's a foreign investor or things like that, but they're all the same type, which is why we group them together. So 6Ks and 8Ks, these are going to all be in blue. And these are going to be reports of material events or corporate changes. So things that are unscheduled, unplanned, that could be important to shareholders, they need to disclose. Our scraping tool here, you can see it automatically pulls up the items that they're going to be discussing within it. It's so worthy, especially if it's a company you follow, on opening it and seeing if there's any worthy information in there, because these 6Ks, these 8Ks, I mean, they can be very, very long sometimes, 10, 20, 30 more pages. Sometimes they're short, but depending if it's a company you're watching, it could be good to look, because again, these are unscheduled things that are happening within a company that they need to report for the shareholders. But one that's also really good, these 10Ks and 10Qs, these are your annual and your quarterly financial statements. So they have to have everything in them. I mean, these are going to be basically your 8K with a whole bunch more information tied in, right? Because it's your whole annual report that's going to be in there of everything that's going on. And if there was an SEC investigation during that year, that's also going to be in here, right? They have to report everything that could be of significance in their annual reports. And you would have access, again, to these annual financial reports that these companies are filing. Taking a look here, I know Milton sometimes talks about these 13Ds, these 13Gs on Trade Exchange. So again, 13Ds, 13Gs. What are these? These are when somebody, it doesn't have to be an insider, it's basically an investor or a public company or anybody, when they purchase more than 5% of a company. So how do you read this? So when a form SC13G or 13D is filed, there's always one filed by the company. That's what you see here with FST. And then above it shows who it was filed by. So this one you can see was filed by Quinn Opportunity Partners. And you can see here at they bought 5.5%. Into this, and this 13G is what they filed for, as they invested into 5.5% in. So any times that there is more than 5% purchase shares of a company, that has to be filed. So again, if you start seeing that, you have, again, we'll talk about Elon Musk because he was there and he's been buying a significant percentage of a small battery company, that's going to catch your attention. So again, these can be really, really key points of information and really useful points of information when you see who's investing into what companies and what percentage. And
Jana,
again, yes.
Starting to interrupt, I just had a quick question. Someone's asking, what do these /A's mean in these filings?
Good question. It's a great question. So these are actual amendments to the 13Gs and the 13As. So they could be small amendments. They might be things that typically, I'll be honest with you, usually they're not very useful. It's usually amendments that within the document, but it's not really changing the core of the information. Usually, again, there's always exceptions to every rule. We are actually adding something in the filter, just so everybody knows, to have the option of seeing these amendments or not seeing them, because some people want access because if they miss something, they'd rather have it all. And we have had some feedback from others that there's a bit too many and they'd rather not see it. So you actually will have coming up in 2022 an option to turn off these, but they are good for those that would rather see them all. These are amendments. That's a great question. Okay, and almost through our list here. 3ASRs are S3s, F3ASRs. Many of you already know what these are, but they are new public offering announcements. I'm going to actually open up one of these because you can see here we don't have the scraping tool on here yet, but these are really, really useful because again, this is announcing when there's going to be a new public offering. So we'll just open up the first one we have here. It's LGVN. And I'll show you how you read these. So we'll open this up. Give me 1 second while I share this for you as well so you can see what I just opened. Okay, so when you click on it there, it opens the actual SEC filing. That's true for all our SEC filings. You can just click there, even the ones that are scraped, and you can open the actual SEC filing. So when you open a form S1, S3, SR, and F3, they pretty much have similar layout. So you can see, you can learn to read these pretty well once you get used to opening them. Most of them, not all, but most of them will have this blue and white graph here, this little chart box. So what you see here is this public offering is that they're going to be offering, you see here, 43+ million of, and you look here, of common stock is what they're going to be offering on this one. So these are obviously very, very important to know when a company is going out, putting out a new offering. So these are your S3ASRs or S3s, and we put them in this nice bright pink color because these can have sometimes have quite fast, immediate market impact, which is why we put it in this bright color that you could see it right away. And our FWPs, the 424B2s. Yeah, so these are basically, majority of the time they have to do with the offering. So they have to do with those S3ASRs, those S3s that we talked about. But they're not, I guess you could say, as impactful as these, which is why we group them separately. So that's why they are there. They're additional information concerning these announcements. They are good to read. So if you saw an S3ASR and a company you follow, and then, you know, an hour later you see an FWP or 424B2 come out, it is worth finding out what it's about. But because it's not such I guess you could say, not usually so impactful, is why we separated them. I don't want to go through all of these. I'll just touch base because, again, these are ones that good to know what they are. If you find them important, that's good for you to have them. But yeah, they're not things that we usually watch too often. So your 144s, your 3s, these are the announcements of the intention of someone's going to sell restricted or controlled securities. Usually you're going to see these after an IPO when the insiders make their first transactions. Your S8s, these are used to just register stocks for employee benefit plans. Your S11s are just used to register stocks for REITs. And your 13Fs, they can be a bit dicey. It's a whole nother conversation, but they're basically your quarterly reports that have to be filed by all institutional investment managers that have at least, I think it's 100 million in assets. So Again, the ones that we really pay attention to are these ones up here. Again, if anyone wants to learn how to read these FCC filings, happy to go through that.
Can we put up, can we put up a form 4? We had someone wanted to see the sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Someone wanted to see the a quick peek at the form 4, the insider purchases aspect, so they can get an idea of what we're looking at when we provide that information, and also how it forms that info into the scraping feature of the service.
Absolutely. So let's take Six Flags, where I know we mentioned this one just before. So let's click on this one here. So we see here Six Flags Entertainment Corporation. We have the director purchasing 225,000 shares. If we open this up, and again, give me 1 second. I'm just going to do a share for you to see that. So now you can see here. So this is what an actual form 4 looks like. So this is where, again, TradeWire has this huge competitive advantage. And this is where it's really a great key to have in your pocket, because usually when you have an SEC filing scraping system, you're just getting form 4, Six Flags, and you have to open it up and you have to find this information yourself and click and open and do the math. And how much is it? Is it worried? And then you will check your charts, and that takes time. So this did it for you. So again, here you saw it was 225,000. I can probably shrink this so you can compare. Here you go. So you see here we have the 200, we have 25,000. So there's your 225,000. We have the average. It averaged the price that they paid for them, and it totaled the amount that you saw of what they paid for. So, and then here you have who was it that did it? What is their position in the company and the company name? So you can see here that that is a really great tool. Actually, let me just open up one more thing. There's one more thing you should actually be aware of. And let me share this back for you one more time. One more thing I should mention. Also on a form 4, take a look down here. So down here, these explanations, if you see something that you say, hey, this is a good one, or if you want more information, these are the footnotes. They're down here, they're in green. So if there's any footnotes, they are worth taking a glance at and seeing sometimes, is it anything, a lot of times it's saying, oh, this was bought in multiple prices of common stock. Many times it doesn't really have anything. As you see here, they were purchased in multiple transactions at prices ranging. So usually nothing too impactful, but if there is something of importance, it's going to be here in these footnotes.
Thank you very much, Shayna. That was, that was one of the key things that a lot of people have been asking about, understanding the importance of some of these filings. And as you've mentioned, when we utilize the information, it gives us the benefit of giving that information to our members. And we, like I said, we pick and choose. We aggregate information. That's what our job is for our members. So we don't provide you, as you can see, there's, at the end of the day, you could probably have 1,000 SEC filings that are done on a day-to-day basis. Our job for you guys, for everyone, is to dissect those and provide the information that is could be stock or market moving specific. So when it comes to any type of info outside of the few that we pick, there's so much information and content that a trader or a swing trader or even a long-term investor could utilize from these filings. Our thought process is we wanted to give everyone a crash course on what these filings are all about, give everyone a basic look at what we look at the Trade Exchange, and giving the feedback from Shayna and her team, since they do specialize on the SEC and press release aspect. We didn't even discuss the press release aspect. We'll do that on a separate call. But we just wanted everyone to get an idea of the SEC filings, how important they could be on a day-to-day basis. We've seen it happen numerous times in the news desk where an insider purchase or a sale or something in regards to an 8K filing or a 6K filing affected a movement in the stock. Shayna, I want to thank you for taking the time to going over this real quickly. Hopefully, we'll be able to set some time aside and create more of this information for our members. Um, in regards to anything, if there are any other questions, I have some questions coming on through social media as well, Shayna, that I'll be asking real quickly. If anyone else has a question in the chat, just send in the chat. If not, you can DM us or private message us via social media. One question was, if you can just answer real quickly, when you were looking at your filings, you were looking at that offering side. What was the S-3 ASR, or what's someone was asking, they see it numerous times in the news desk of a mixed shelf offering, or what? Can you explain to people what that is?
Yeah, of course. Actually, why don't we just pull one up so y'all can see? Okay, so an S3 ASR and mixed shelf. So as you saw when we pulled up, this was the one we pulled up earlier, and you saw that it said that they were offering X amount and it had common stock. So that would be a common stock offering that it is just common stock, but a mixed shelf offering. And I believe, I know there was one earlier I'd seen come across. I believe it's this one, actually. Let me do a screen share. Hopefully I got the right one. Okay, hopefully I got this right one. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Okay, so when a mixed shelf offering is if they are offering more than just stocks. So you see this one on this company, they are doing a offering of 47 million plus. It's not just common shares. They also have warrants mixed in there and units and these pre-funded warrants. So it's when it's a mix, it can be stocks, it can be a mix of bonds, it can be, it's just basically a mix. And instead of labeling all the different things, oh, warrants, bonds, common stock, they're just going to call that a mixed shelf offering. I see somebody
Awesome. Thank you. One interesting thing that literally just popped up was an 8K filing out by Visa. No press release after hours, but in that 8K filing, they discussed, and we posted it in the news desk, and you could have had it right real time in the TradeX Plus aspect, where they board of directors are authorizing a new 12 billion share repurchase program. That's the importance of that type of information that is provided on an SEC filing. So that just shows some benefit in regards to what, if you scroll down, as you just saw, Shayna popped it up right there. Other events on December 13th, there goes your explanation without a press release. So we are seeing volatility in stocks when it comes to SEC filings. We just wanted to give everybody a quick view on what we looked at the Trade Exchange with that other aspect from Shayna over at TradeWire. We'll give it a few more minutes if there are any other questions. And then if not, we'll be able to wrap this up. And keep in mind, we are doing a recording. We'll be able to send this out to everybody as well. So, this info will be sent out to everyone who signed up. We'll give it a few more minutes. And if there's any other questions,
I saw there was a question about the
back.
search. I saw there was a question here about the search. So I just want to show you the search. So yes, we do have a search. I just accessed it by clicking. You can search here by keyword, or you can search by stock ticker. So as you can see, I just put in V and it does pull up Visa. It didn't pull up every single thing that has a V in it. So you can search it just by stock ticker. Yeah, so you can do keyword, or even pull these up right in front of us, Pegasystems, and yeah, keyword. So you can see, but what's really useful is that you can just search by the stock ticker without pulling up everything else tied to it. You have your night mode over here. If you want your night mode, you have your sound notifications. This is if you just want to be able to copy this information that you see here in this box. You can just click on this to paste it. And I know we're not going to talk about press releases, but just to show you how it looks, these would be your press releases. Again, just like the SEC filings, you click on it and it opens the actual press release. So you can see the press releases as well and read them for yourself. But clicking back to filings, I just wanted to show how that looked.
Awesome. Like I said to everybody, we will be doing much more in regards to breaking down SEC filings, how to utilize SEC filings in your trading, how to utilize press releases in your trading. The goal here is to help everybody out, to give them the information that they need to make their trading days better and easier. At the end of the day, like they say, content is king and information is power. So, having the ability to have this at your fingertips is what we at the Trade Exchange are trying to provide all our members. So once again, I wanted to thank Shayna for taking some time out of their busy day over at TradeWire to break down some of their thought process on the SEC filings. Members, once again, all this will be recorded. We'll be sending it out via an email to everyone. If you have questions, as always, reach out to us, shoot us an email, click on the Ask the Desk, shoot us a message on the Ask the Desk. We're here to help you guys out. We're here to provide anything for everybody on the members side in regards to Trade Exchange. And, hopefully this has helped, a little in regards to understanding SEC filings. And like I said, we'll be doing a lot more of this content aspect in regards to how to utilize the information more in depth, on a later date. It is the holidays. We just want to do something quick for everybody. Once again, Shayna, thank you. If there's anything else you'd like to share or say before we close up,
Yes,
the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Milton. And yeah, again, the scraping tool, I know you guys saw it tonight. You saw it on our 4Ps, you saw it on the 4Ss, you see it here on the 8Ks, you saw it on the 13Ds, the 13Gs. That scraping tool is, it's really, really a massive advantage that we have and that we are trying to continuously improve. I just wanted to add that that is something we're actively working on. That's something that we realize how important the feedback has been huge on how time saving that has been for traders. So we are expanding that. We're looking at expanding that next to those public offering announcements. So those S1s, the S3, ASRs, S3. So you can expect that coming up along with, a lot of changes coming up I wouldn't say changes, but improvements, I would say, coming up in 2022.
Awesome. Thank you. Once again, everyone, if there is any questions, shoot us an email, throw us a message on Ask the Desk, DM us. These days you can get in touch with us in any way possible. Thank you, everyone, for joining with us. Like I said, we will be recording this. We will be sending out an email and posting it on our YouTube page. Once again, shoot us a follow if you don't follow us on Twitter or YouTube. Subscribe to our page. We'll be providing much more content on that list. Shayna, once again, thank you. Everyone, enjoy the night, and we'll see you first thing tomorrow on the Trade Exchange pre-market prep. Thank you.